Hey everybody, Questwise back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about role-playing games that use peripheral or additional tokens to enhance the role-playing experience. There are several of them on the market out there that use these things like bits and chits and tokens, which I'm a huge fan of. I say the more the better. If there's a way to enhance the role-playing experience, in addition to things like player handouts and miniatures, some of these, there's several games out there that utilize them, not a necessity to play the game, but a way to enhance the game as well too. I'm going to focus on just 3 of them today. The first one being Savage Worlds. Savage Worlds, again, if you saw my video on small format games, one of my favorites. Really love this company. Really like the way that they're doing the game itself and producing and bringing it out to the public and stuff as well. In that, I mentioned that Savage Worlds uses 2 very prominent ones, peripherals in addition to the normal dice and stuff. And we're not going to go into dice because a majority of tabletop role-playing games utilize dice anyway. There's some exceptions that there are games that are dice-driven or are card-driven or driven narratively, but a majority of them require dice. That's not what we're going to focus on today. What we're going to focus on today is Savage Worlds uses a standard deck of playing cards. These ones are still brand new. In order to declare initiative with, they use these as well. They also utilize what they call bennies or benefits, tokens, points that you can use in-game to cash in at some point to get you a specific effect during the game, whether it be a reroll or what have you, those little things. They refer to using poker chips. You could use a little bit of anything. You could use pennies. You could use glass beads. I got these poker chips. You get a whole set of these for really, really cheap. These are a little plasticky, nothing super fancy, but they do work. They come in a multitude of different colors. The great thing about using a standard deck of playing cards to run initiative with as sort of a visual aid and game mechanic is that you can buy lots of cool different variations of decks of cards as well too. This is by Bicycle. It's called the Alchemy 1977 England edition and has some really cool card artwork, as you can see there on the screen. So you can sort of modify whatever game, and remember, like I said, Savage Worlds is a generic setting, so you can run fantasy, science fiction, pulp, whatever the game is that you prefer to play. You can run it out of here. What I like to do is I like to buy decks of cards that are sort of themed around the game that I'm running. If I'm running a Wild West game, I might run, I might find a deck of cards that has an Old West feel. This one in particular, I bought the deck of cards to build a game around it because they're so cool. I want to do sort of a Ray Bradbury with Something Wicked This Way Comes kind of a game idea out of this. The other thing I found that works really well for bennies, there's millions of things out there, like I said, pennies. I found these cool plastic, this is part of a promotional thing, plastic pirate coin. They're, really cheap, really, but they're nice. They're sturdy. They'll hold up. They have a skull and crossbones on one side and a little treasure chest on the other. Again, work really great as bennies. I got a bajillion of these for like a couple bucks. The other thing I found too, this is a really cool idea, these plastic jewel tokens. Now, it took me a while to figure out where to buy these from, but the best way I found is to going to your local pet supply store and looking in their aquarium section. They do now sell bags of these of random colors for $5 or $6, maybe not even that, maybe $4 or $5 for a variety of different colors. These work great as bennies. You can also call these things like spirit crystals, whatever you want to use it as. In fantasy, they work really well because it's like you're getting a handful of gems as sort of your treasure. It makes a nice utilization of bennies as well. The second game that I wanted to show to you that uses a lot of great peripheral tokens and whatnot to enhance the game is Mouse Guard. Mouse Guard is the creation of both Luke Crane and David Peterson. David Peterson being, of course, the genius mind behind the Mouse Guard comic book series, and Luke Crane being the brilliant game designer. And I'm not being facetious there. I mean brilliant. I think this guy is one of the most genuinely awesome game creators out there in the world right now. But he's behind the Burning Wheel role-playing game, as well as Torchbearer and Mouse Guard. So Mouse Guard, what they utilizes, and this is it, and if you haven't checked out Mouse Guard, please do. This is blows my mind. Awesome game design. But what they use is they use some proprietary dice. Again, you don't need to have these because you can use regular sets of dice for these. But they have special symbols and the dice: failures, successes, and the black axe, which is like a double success or ultimate success. And you get these in the box set. I should explain to you. You can buy this book separately. This is the core rule book and has everything in it you need to play, but you can also buy a box set that has the main rule book. In addition to that, a bunch of other really great things. You get like 20 of these cool dice, and you also get 4 of these decks of cards, which is the other thing that you get as well too. Inside these decks of cards, you have a variety of different things, and this is where I think the game kind of shines and makes it very, very awesome. The deck utilizes, or the game, I should say, utilizes these cards for anytime you come into a situation where you're be it combat or a social interaction, any obstacle you might want to overcome. And you use these in a variety of ways, but they have great David Peterson artwork on them as well. But this is, so there's you would use these as in like you plot out in advance 3 actions that you're going to do in any kind of conflict, and these tell you exactly on the card. Some cool artwork. If you're going to feint, if you're going to attack, and then what the benefits and stuff are those on there as well. The other thing that they do in here, and I think this is really cool, is they give you these weapon cards. And so what you use these for is that whenever your mouse is using a particular weapon being it a halberd or sword or a mace or whatever it is, you lay these in front of you, whatever equipment that you have, and this reminds you of the benefits that you receive from using those weapons. And these are double-sided, and they're very nice quality. But I really like this aspect as well too. It makes the game a lot more visual. It acts as a play aid, but also it's cool to have as an extra sort of item to enhance the game itself. The other one, again, this was currently growing to be again it's in my definite top 5 favorite role-playing games, and this is the Dark Eye from Germany. This is I believe the 5th edition of the rules, but this is the second one that's only been available in English. So this is the Dark Eye. This is like the most popular fantasy game in Germany at the time, role-playing game. And what they do is they I think have the same sort of idea that I do, in that peripherals and extras, little bits and bobs, make a game cooler, a lot more fun. And so what they've done is they've created, much like Savage Worlds, they call them fate tokens. They've created their own sort of poker chip type things that you can buy. And again, Savage Worlds does this as well too. If you go to Pinnacle Entertainment website, you can buy poker chips that are specific to Deadlands or just generic Savage Worlds as well. These ones happen to be the ones from the Dark Eye, and they're double-sided. Very nice. You can see a great review of these over at John Pollock's YouTube website. Mr. Mean does a great review of these kinds of things as well. So I won't go into too much detail about them. They also utilize decks of cards. There are some this is specifically for religious type characters, priest-like characters, clerics. These are liturgies and ceremonies. There's also a deck of cards for spells and rituals and stuff for standard magic users. And again, these are just nice sets of cards. This one in particular is the Birth Blessing And it just gives you all the stuff that you need. It's like sort of a quick reference, all the info you need on these different spells right in front of you. Again, the same thing with the mouse guard, where it has different types of equipment and stuff. It's a nice quick reference, rather than being like, I don't remember why, how much damage my sword does or my dagger can do on a thrown attack kind of thing. So those are the top 3 games that I think utilize these extra tokens and stuff and chits and stuff to enhance the game. Now, how can you add these kind of things to a game that you're running? Maybe a D&D game or a Pathfinder game. How can I incorporate these? Well, pretty simply, actually. The way you would do it is, notably kind of going towards D&D and or like Pathfinder type games. But pretty easily you can incorporate this idea into your game. Call them what you will: action points, plot points, character tokens, whatever. The idea of incorporating this kind of a style of thing is fairly simple. You want to sit down with your players and make sure that they're on board with it as well too. It's kind of a house ruling aspect. But one of the things you can do is and super simple, is that you can pass these out, whether it be at the beginning of a game session or it earned through gameplay of doing some kind of cool heroic thing, coming with a great idea. That type of a situation, you can give these out, and you can limit them. For instance, in D&D, they have the inspiration rule. I like to give out a token for inspiration. In fact, one of the other games I'm running right now, I give out these jewels as inspiration, and they can, in D&D with the inspiration, you only have 1 token. But I think it's kind of interesting to maybe house rule in the fact that you could have multiple tokens and either share them with another player for having an awesome idea, or for saving the group, or being, creating a selfless act, or for using them for yourselves. And they can be as simple as just turning one of these into the game master for a reroll. You fail a roll, you want to try again, you can turn this in for a reroll. Now, it can, in certain games, that can be it can really shake things up in the game. It can really change the power level of your game and change the dynamic of the game as well. So you want to be careful with that and the types of things that you can use these tokens for. But you can also push it as far as being able to cash in one of these or multiples of these at a time to let the players sort of take narrative control of the scene for a time. So there's many ways that you can introduce these into your game. Most notably, I would say just using a couple of poker chips in your D&D game or whatever it happen to might be in. Use them as like an inspiration type token and pass one of these out to your players. It's a nice visual representation and a remembrance that it's there. It's not just a number or check mark on your character sheet. You can lay this in front of you on a table and realize, oh yeah, I can still utilize this. I can still I can still cash this in to get some kind of a cool benefit in the game. So that's Peripherals. I'm like I said, I'm a huge fan of using extra visual modifiers at the table, whether it be standard, blank poker chips, cool jewels, or you want to spend the cash to buy the specific ones for the games at hand, or you want to go and buy these. I think I got these at the dollar store, to be honest, a whole bag of these. However, it helps you enhance your game in buying, specialty decks of cards. You can tarot cards. You can incorporate a lot of those things in there. Please, if you have any other ideas on how to incorporate these kind of things or would like to know more, please leave a message in the comments below, and I'll try to get back with you. I'd love to hear how different ways that you could incorporate extras, visuals into your games as well. Thanks everybody for coming and checking out my videos. Having a lot of fun doing these things, and I hope to bring many, many more to you as well. So until then, I am Questwise, and we're out.